John Murillo is a true poet, a wordsmith, a songmaker, intelligent, principled, compassionate, and fearless. John Murillo was born in Los Angeles, grew up in several cities, and graduated from the MFA program at New York University. He's won more prizes and fellowships than I can easily list. He's served as the J.C. and Ruth Hall's Poetry Fellow at the Wisconsin Institute for Creative Writing, and he's received fellowships from the New York Times, Cave Canem, and the Fine Arts Center at Provincetown. He's a two-time Larry Neal Writers Award winner and has served as the Elma P. Stuckey Visiting Emerging Poet in Residence at Columbia College in Chicago. His poems have appeared in many journals, including Callaloo and Plowshares, and his first volume, Up, Jump the Boogie, appeared just this year. At present, he is visiting poet here at Cornell. Like the poet he admires most, Etheridge Knight, Murillo's work is informed by a relish for wordplay and improvisation, an idiom of verve and nerve, rap rhythm, city beat, rhyme variations and permutations, fashioned out of the richness, the mixtures, the violence, the contradictions and polyphonies of the city, as well as memories of, quote, the feel songs in the bone. He makes a street blues, a blues chanting hoodoo revival, speaking like a, quote, deacon in the church of the Hallelujah beatdown. The intense drive to escape the cycles and defeats of the inner city is matched in Murillo's work by an equally intense nostalgia and loyalty and affection for the world he has left. The affection for the biological father, a veteran of Vietnam, victim of Agent Orange, and the poetic father, Etheridge Knight, inspires much of Murillo's work. In Flowers for Etheridge, Murillo refers to the older poet as the Virgil to my Dante. His actual father is my risen black Lazarus. The overall movement of Murillo's poetry is affirmative and transcendental. Quote, all songs are love songs, he says on page 87. And, quote, I say, praise it all. He concludes his book, the exact moment I let in this city, let out the sweat, and come to own this mighty, mighty joy. Please join me in welcoming John Murillo.
I'm not expecting a call. This is for me to keep time. Thank you, Bob, for that introduction. And thank you all for coming. I want to thank everybody that Bob thanked and all the people who made me feel so welcome here. My colleagues, and very, very big thanks I want to give to my students who came under pressure of, I wasn't giving reverse extra credit, so I wasn't going to give them anything extra if they came, but if they didn't come, I'd take points off. They thought I was joking too. And I want to thank actually 3 people who came all the way from Syracuse. I taught in this workshop this summer in Florida. They had this teen writers residency, and it was a 2-week program, and it was really, Denise Duhamel taught poetry, Ben Percy taught fiction, and Denise D'Onofrio, she taught creative nonfiction. And I just kind of made sure nobody got, in trouble or anything like that. But 3 of the people didn't get in trouble, but were very talented writers, came out, and just want to say thank you for you guys coming out. I consider myself a poet of witness. So I'll just give a brief biographical note of myself. I came up in South Central LA is where I was born and raised. In the 70s and 80s, where a lot of the gang activity was taking place. Of my childhood friends, I'm one of the only ones who made it out and are still like a functioning, productive citizen. So what I do, I consider myself as having a responsibility to tell their stories as well, because a lot of those people didn't make it out. So some of the stories are mine, some are others, some I'll mix and match, just to make a better poem. But yeah, and I haven't even exhausted, many of the stories from people around me. And sometimes I feel a way about it, whether I'm appropriating things that don't belong to me, right? But these people shared both their lives and deaths with me, so I feel like, this is as much my story to tell as theirs. Let's see, I'm gonna start with this poem called Ode to the Crossfader. A crossfader, for those of you who are not sure, is a lever on a mixer. A DJ uses a mixer, right? And he has these turntables here. So the crossfader is a switch that allows him to blend, cut, scratch from one turntable to the other, right? So this is Ode to the Crossfader. You guys like my suit? I was telling my mother, she's like, "You wearing a suit?" I said, "Yeah." I told her, I said, "Look, it's like if George Clooney and Denzel Washington had a baby and he came out Latino." All right. Ode to the Crossfader. Got this mixed board itch, this bass line lifted from my father's dusty wax. 40 crates stacked in the back of the attic, this static in the headphones, hum in the blood, this deep bass buckshot thump in the chest. Got reasons and seasons pressed to both palms, 2 coins from each realm pressed to both palms. This memory ear, cross-faded and cued, these knuckles, nicks, and night sweat writes this frantic abacus of scratch, scratch, scratch. Got blood in the crates, in the chest, in the dust, field hollers to break beats. My father's dusty wax, my father's dust. Got reasons, got night sweats and hollers pressed to both palms, break beats and hollers pressed to both palms, static in the attic, stacked crates of memory, dust, blood, and memory, cross-faded and bass, cross-faded and cued, cross-faded and static, stacked hollers, got reasons in the dust, in the chest, got seasons in the blood, in the headphones hum, this deep bass, buckshot, blood in both palms, my father's dust pressed to both palms, got reasons and reasons and reasons. So what I do sometimes, I'll read, I know where it's gonna begin and I know where it ends. And sometimes I'll just mix up words and I'll basically like just cross, cut, and fade and do all the kind of stuff with the words that are on the page. And I don't know any more than anybody else what I'm gonna do sometimes. But that keeps it fun. I was telling John that I've done about 60 readings since February. And I get bored hearing my own voice. I get bored with my poems. So this is a way to keep it fun for me. I just mix it up. And sometimes it falls flat. Sometimes it's horrible. And I'm like, I shouldn't have done that, but, sometimes it works. I was telling John Lennon earlier today, I had an interview with him, and I was telling him how I came to poetry through hip-hop. I started out as a rapper, as an MC. And so I had been rapping since I was 11, and when I was about 17, we started going to the studios, recording demos, things like that. And this poem is about that first summer, 1989. There are no windows here, and the walls are lined with egg cartons. So if we listen past the sampled piano, drum kick and speaker box rumble, we'd still not hear the robins celebrating daybreak. The engineer worries the mix board, something about a hiss lurking between notes. Dollar Bill curses the engineer. Time we don't have, says it's just a demo and doesn't need perfecting. Fools always want to make like Quincy Jones when you pay him by the hour. DJ Eddie Scissorhands, because he cuts so nice, taps ashes into an empty pizza box, head nodding to his latest masterpiece. Beethoven spliced with Mingus, mixed with Frankie Beverly, all laid on Billy Squire's big beat. I'm in a corner, crossing out and rewriting lines I want to forget years later, looking up every now and then to watch Shakespeare, Pomona's finest MC, in the vocal booth. Spitting rhymes he never bothers putting to paper. Nearly hypnotized by the gold-plated Jesus swinging from his neck as he too will swing. Days from now, before they cut him from the rafters of a jail cell. Now, I started rapping when I was about 11. Around the same time I started breakdancing too, b-boying. That's pretty good. There's a song by a group called Rage Against the Machine called Renegades of Funk. You know the song? Some of you? Okay. Well, they actually bit that song from an earlier group called Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force. We used to break to it all the time. It's called Renegades of Funk. That's where this poem gets its title from. And I was speaking with some students earlier about form and the things that form can teach us. And I'm a big fan of the sonnet. I don't write them often enough, but there's something about the sonnet and the things it can do. So I wrote 7 of them. This is actually a crown of sonnets. And the song Renegades of Funk had this refrain, no matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now. You guys remember that? No? Okay. It's on YouTube. But you need to know. Haints is a word that's in here. Haints, it's from Southern lore. I guess it's like a ghost or, you know, similar to the word haunt. And what else did I tell you? That's it. Okay. Renegades of Funk. 1. When we were 12, we taught ourselves to fly, to tuck the sky beneath our feet, to spin the world on fingertips, to pirouette on elbows, heads, and backs, to run away while standing still. So when Miss Jefferson, her eyebrows shaved and painted black, the spot of lipstick on her one good tooth, would praise the genius Newton, I knew then to keep her close, to trust her like a chicken hawk at Colonel Sanders. I refute your laws, oppressor. I'm the truth you cannot stop. Busting head spins on her desk, a moonwalk out the door, referred to Mr. Brown's detention. Jefferson, Newton, Brown, everybody trying to keep a brother down. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now. Attention. This is why they keep us. Down in Memphis, bluesmen beg the sky to pour down liquor. Empty bottles, barren hands, a pawn shop banjo gathers dust. Guitars sit idle, songs forgotten. Ghosts come late to find the crossroads cluttered. Strip malls now where Haints once hung. The young, it seems, forget the drum and how it bled, the dream and how it fed the mothers on the auction block. But rhythm's why they keep us, rhythm's why we've kept up. Cotton fields and backs that creak, a song for every lash, a cry on beat, and blues sucked dry. The strip malls bleed the ghosts from banjos, hollers caught in greed. 3. The ghosts, the angels, Holocaust, the need to shake these shackles, field songs in our bones. As if at 12 we knew all this, we named our best moves free. To break and pop, lock, blood and bruises marking rights, we'd gather, dance ourselves electric, stomp and conjure storm, old lightning in our limbs. We thunderstruck maroons, machete-wielding silhouettes, reject the fetters, come together still. Some call it capoeira, call it street dance. We say culture, say survival. Bahia's Birimba were a boombox in the boogie down, a killing art as play, an ancient killing art to break us free. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now. Oh Lord, send something down to break us free. Says send us something now to set us free. Swing low, sweet chariot, to rescue we. The calls went up in every blessed field. The people shouting, singing in the fields. They lit the torches, compromised the yield. This earthly house is gonna soon decay. Said, look like Master's house gonna soon decay. I got my castle where he planned to stay. Some waited in the hills till nightfall came. An exodus of thousands. When night came, they built their fires, sang into the flames. Upon the mountaintop, the good Lord spoke, and out his mouth come the fire and smoke. 5. The art of spitting fire. How to smoke a fool without a gun. I learned that too. See, we studied master poets. Big Daddy Kane, not Keats. Rakim, not Rilke. Raw, I ain't no joke, our Nightingales and Orpheus. And few there were among us couldn't ride a beat in strict tetrameter, impromptu odes and elegies instead of slanty rhymes, we gangsterleaned them. Kicking 17 entendre couplets just to fuck with old Miss Jefferson, the Newton freak. And sometimes we even got her out her seat, her 10 thin digits waving side to side, held high and hiding nothing while her eyes could see. And we knew nothing but what eyes could see. The burnt out liquor stores and beauty shops, mechanics lots, abandoned, boarded up pastrami shacks where seemed like every day we used to ditch class battles, centipedes and space invaders. Gone. Or going fast. What eyes could see was us, the world and us and all we knew, like smoke. So, renegade we did, against erasure, time, and hell we thought against the reaper too. We left our names in citadels, sprayed hieroglyphs in church, our rebel yells in aerosol. We bombed, therefore we are. We break, therefore we are. We spit the gospel, therefore are. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now. The walls are sprayed in gospel. This is for the ones who never made the magazines, between break beats and bad break, broken homes and flat broke, caught but never crushed, the stars we knew we were, who recognized the shine despite the shade. We renegade in rhyme, to dance on trains and walls. We renegade in lecture halls, the yes, yes, y'alls in suits, construction boots and aprons, out of work 9 to 5. Still renegades, those laid to rest forgotten renegades, induct too soon with kiriaki, big pun and pop. Renegade, 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 renegade. I sing your names in praise. Remember why? When we were 12, we taught ourselves to fly. The question is, where do I find the inspiration for the rhythm that I use? And really music. You know, I was born into a culture that, where music plays a big part of everything we do. Up Jump the Boogie, the title of the book, I'll just say briefly, deals with that idea, right? So through slavery, through, Jim Crow oppression, through, the Civil Rights Movement, all these things, music, there's always a soundtrack playing, right? And so that's been ingrained in me. But I did, like John was saying, start out as a rapper, right? So I have, at this point, like 27 years of listening to metered verse, rhyme, alliteration, assonance, all these things, 4-beat lines. So sometimes it's hard for me not to write like that. I have a conditioned ear for that. It's a good question, though. Even this ride. It's every bump and stall, and each funky body pressed to another, sweat earned over hours, bent over moats, caged in cubicles, and after it all, the pouring of us like scotch into daylight. Dusk, rush hour, this long trip home, praise it all. The dead miss out on summer. The sun bouncing off moving trains and a woman to love you when you get inside. Somewhere in the city, a man will plead for love gone, another chance, and think himself miserable. He'll know somewhere deep he may never win her back, but he'll know even deeper that there is a kind of joy in the begging itself, that all songs are love songs, blues especially. Praise the knowledge, praise the opening and closing doors, the ascent into light, heat, each sidewalk square, cracks and all, the 112 stairs between lobby and my woman's front door, the exact moment I let in this city, let out this sweat, and come to own this mighty, mighty joy.